Let me start at the beginning of my judicial career. I became a judge on July 1st, 1983. And it was thrilling and exciting, and my mom was proud of me. A month later, the Grey Lord scandal broke. 22 judges went to jail for bribery, out-and-out bribery. The court system in Illinois, specifically in Cook County, was a national disgrace. It was terrible. I was a brand new judge. I'd just taken this oath. People were angry. Judges were angry at each other. It was a terrible, terrible time. But there were leaders who stepped forward and said, none of us took bribes, but it's our institution. We've got to heal. We've got to reform. We've got to make changes. And the way that that path was set was that we, as the judiciary ourselves, had to embrace the most highest level of ethical behavior. And we had to do that through transformative judicial education. So in other words, we've always had classes about latest cases or something like that. But the idea was we need to have transformative judicial education. So when someone becomes a judge, they understand that this is not just another job. It's an awesome responsibility, a responsibility to the people. So that's been my passion since the very beginning. Since I've been on the court, our Code of Judicial Conduct has been rewritten. And I think one of the most important parts of that the changes are the comments. These comments were added to not only help judges understand the rules and live up to these high standards, but also to inform the public as to why we have these rules. The second piece that I'm really, really proud of is that in Illinois, we have the most independent, robust judicial discipline system in the country. I know that people don't understand that. They don't know that, but they should. We're the only state in the country where a judge can be removed from office having been elected by an independent body whose decision cannot be reviewed by the Supreme Court. Under our Constitution, the Illinois Courts Commission is independent from the Supreme Court. We're the only state in the country like that. Now, it happens that in the Constitution, it also says that the legislature is to provide appropriations for the Courts Commission. And over the years, that just never happened. The Courts Commission, this really important independent body, was kind of ad hoc, and I was concerned about that. And so, in the last years, while I've been on the court, the legislature has now funded the Illinois Courts Commission. There's a website. Anyone in the community can go to the website. You can look at all the ethical rules. You can look at all of the cases that have gone before. There are all sorts of information about judicial ethics from around the country. It's a stronger body, and it's again a very robust part of this commitment to the enforcement of judicial ethics. And as I spoke to before, that to me that's the key to enhancing public trust and confidence. And the third piece that I'm particularly proud of is this idea that you can't just put on a robe and be a great judge, or even understand the ethical obligations of a judge. It takes time. It takes a great deal of support, and the Illinois Judicial College has matured in the last few years so much, in so many different ways, both in the depth of the programming, as well as expanding judicial education beyond just judges, but to all the justice partners, so that when people come into our courthouses, they will be met by a clerk of the court who has had the same kind of training. When I say the same kind of training, what I mean is transformative education. This is not just about knowing how to do your job. It's how to serve, and how to serve at the highest level. I'm extraordinarily proud of those three things that have happened while I've been on the court. You mentioned this before, and I will admit that I often say this, but I will say it one more time. The Code of Judicial Conduct, canon number 1, says this: a judge must act at all times in a manner that promotes the public's trust and confidence in the integrity, impartiality, and independence of the judiciary. That's the number one ethical obligation for every judge in our state. And as I sit here today, looking back at my career and the questions you've asked me, I think about this. I try to work every day to earn the people's trust.